volunteering. Volunteering doesn't always have to be I go out all day and do something, right? So why is it important to volunteer? Or is it important? Paul? Yeah?
I think it is important because we can help make a society better and make them. I think it is make the poor become richer and something like that.
Make the poor richer? Okay.
Like they will get easier to make money.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay, so then we can sort of answer that with these two questions, right? What benefits can we get from volunteering, and what skills can we learn?
Kim Anh. Kim Anh.
Yeah, and it makes you feel happier?
Xin chào.
Maybe knowledge? Increase knowledge? That's a great one. Yeah, you learn new things, right? You increase your own knowledge about certain things. Yeah.
We can get more skills.
Yeah, what kind of skills?
Like
Teamwork? Yeah. Help someone's life, right? Yeah, make someone else's life better, right? And then we benefit from that. Yeah. What are some other skills we can learn? Love the poor, okay. Yeah.
Leadership.
Leadership?
Yeah.
Yes, good one. Leadership, right? Yeah, because you learn how to work in a team. Maybe you learn to think about other people, right? And leadership is a lot about listening to other people and learning and thinking.
Make a mind better.
Huh?
Make a mind open.
Yeah, open your mind. Yeah, open your mind. Yeah. Huh? Make plans? Yeah, you learn how to make plans and do projects. Awesome. A lot, right? So there's a lot of different benefits to volunteering. Definitely. You guys all know that. Awesome. Yeah. And there's a lot of, sometimes too, there's very practical skills. Like maybe you go somewhere and you build a house, right? And you learn how to build, or you learn how to do budget, right? With money or something. Lots of different things. Okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about volunteerism in America. And so we're going to watch this little video. It might be a little bit fast. It's going to show you kind of some of the history, but we'll go back and talk about some of it. Okay? Because really there's a long, long history of volunteering and sort of service, kind of in America. Okay? Some of you know Benjamin Franklin, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oops. So this was actually the very first volunteering in America, a volunteer firefighting company. Right? Yeah. And in America still, they need a lot of volunteer firefighters. Right? Are there many firefighters in Vietnam?
Yeah, there is a lot.
A lot?
There are firefighters.
But a lot?
No.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, but it's dangerous, right, to volunteer. Okay. The Red Cross, some of you, I did it again. Some of you might know the Red Cross. Oh man. There we go. So, big ways that started. If you ever learn about American history, you will definitely learn about President John F. Kennedy. He's one of the most famous presidents in American history. And he was the one who, he was in his car, driving in the back, and he was shot. Yeah, maybe some of you know it, but a very, very, very famous president. And in his inauguration speech, the speech when you first become president, he gave a very famous speech, one of the most famous in American history, where he said, "Ask not," which means don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Yeah, a very, very, very famous speech, right? Because he really wanted Americans to think about helping each other and helping their communities and giving back. So what he did, in 1961, he founded the Peace Corps. Oh, Kennedy, sorry. Have any of you heard of the Peace Corps? Yeah? What is it?
American people volunteer to educate many sites go to many countries in the world and they provide education.
Yeah.
Education and hospital.
Yeah, they do lots of different things. So it was started by President Kennedy. And so it places Americans in over 60 different countries to volunteer for 27 months. That's 2 years and 3 months that you have to go and volunteer, right? And they're all more poor countries, right? So volunteers do a lot of different things. They teach, they work in health, they work in economic development, in the environment, they work for youth. They do lots and lots and lots of different projects. And so over 220,000 Americans have served in 141 countries worldwide. Over all the life of the Peace Corps, they've had 141 countries. Right? And so this is a little map. The areas that are blue are where they have now, and then these ones are where they had it before, but it's not active anymore. Right? And so you can see they've got a big, big program right in China, down in Thailand, Myanmar. But this one's gray, right? Is it going to be gray for a long time? Do you know what the 142nd country is to get the Peace Corps? Vietnam! Yeah, it's coming to Vietnam. Yeah, they're going to start it in Vietnam, and the focus will be teaching English. Yeah, so there'll be lots more coming to Vietnam. So it's a big commitment for 2 years, almost 2.5. And volunteers live in really, really simple conditions. So I'm going to show you a little video of a volunteer in Mali. Do you know which continent Mali is in?
Africa.
Yeah, in Africa, yeah. So you'll see how she lives her daily life. Just so we won't watch all of it, but a little bit. So she gets the letter that she will go to Mali. So they have lots of different volunteers. And they're working in like basing. So very simple, different life, right? these students. So if you don't want to go abroad and do the Peace Corps, you can still do these programs for 1 year or 2 year in America, and they're huge. You get lots of people participating in these, right, to help their community and build up something better in their community. So there's a big commitment in America to volunteer abroad and volunteer at home, right? So some common volunteer activities that you'll find lots of people taking part in America. So one of the most common is to prepare and serve food, right? Because in America there's a lot of homeless people, right? People who don't have a house, right? And maybe they live on the streets, right? They don't have as many in Vietnam, but in America a lot. So people will often prepare and serve food like Obama did, right? Clean up public spaces. They might clean up trash. Tutoring, you mentioned teaching someone to read, teaching someone how to play a sport, right? Tutoring. Fundraising. What do you do when you fundraise?
Sell things
Sell something for what?
for sale.
And what do you do with the money?
Fun. Donate.
Yeah, but donate it. Yeah, so a really common way to do this is a bake sale in America. Right? You have people bake things at home, right? And then they sell it in public and they use the money to donate to charity. So that's a big one, fundraising through a bake sale or a car wash or something. And giving donations, right? A lot of times people will donate clothes or warm clothes or donate food that they can give to people. So a lot of different activities you can do to volunteer, right? And I wanted to tell you just briefly too about my own story because I actually came to Vietnam with a volunteer organization. That's how I came here 5 years ago. Yeah, so I thought about joining the Peace Corps. But for me, it was a really, really long time, 2 years and 3 months, and I wasn't sure. So I looked for a program where I could live abroad for at least a year, and where they helped me and taught me about the culture and the language. And so I found this program called VIA, Volunteers in Asia, right? And so it's a really, really amazing organization. It started in the 1960s. Back in California, and Vietnam was one of the first countries they came to, and they had to stop coming because of the war, right? But then in the 1990s, they started coming again, and so I went to Hue with Volunteers in Asia, and for 2 years, I taught at Đại học Ngoại ngữ Hue. Yeah. So for 2 years, I lived in the ký túc xá in Đại học Ngoại ngữ. Yeah, and I taught the students lots of different things volunteering, right? And I was able to learn about the culture, and I made friends who work in Indonesia and Thailand and Myanmar, right? And I've learned so much because of volunteering with them. They're an amazing organization. So what I did is the Global Community Fellowship. So they have education and NGO fellowships. NGO is non-governmental organization, right? And so they usually do things to help people, right? To help members of the community. So they have China, Vietnam, Myanmar, Thailand, Japan, Indonesia. And they also have this cool program called USAID Comet, right? Where they're trying, it's a 5-year program where they're trying to prepare young people. And right now it's more in the South, but maybe some of you will get involved with this, to teach them better skills, to be better prepared for the jobs, right? So they're a really great organization, and USAID is part of the U.S. government, like the embassy, right? And right now in Vietnam, they have teaching programs in Cha Vinh and Vũng Tàu, but not in Hanoi. Okay, but, oh sorry. Didn't work. Something that you guys could get engaged in, actually with VIA, so I wanted to tell you about it. Some of you are old enough, but a bunch of you, as you get older, they have something called Global Leadership and Exchange, and it's a 10-day program that's in California. words now, right? Like entrepreneurship or business, hot words, social innovation. So we know Samoy, right? Anybody know innovate or innovation?
Investment.
Kind of. Similar, yeah. So social innovation is when you try and come up with new and exciting ways to solve a social problem, right? To change your society, to make your society better in a new way. And so VIA, my organization, has a 12-day program in Silicon Valley. What is Silicon Valley famous for?
Google.
Google, Apple, yeah, all these big companies, right? Yeah, and so you can learn how to use technology and use some of the business skills to solve a social issue, right? So you don't need to read all this, but it's basically an amazing opportunity that can give you some new skills to come back to your community and make a difference. And those of you who are 18 or older, you can apply for this. And I can give you the website if you want it. It's pretty cool, right? Okay, so volunteering in Vietnam. I want to hear some perspectives from you. So do a lot of people volunteer in Vietnam?
Yes.
They do? Okay, what do they do?
They donate blood.
They donate.
Awesome, okay. So helping with natural disasters? Yeah, and she said ethnic people in mountainous regions, right? How do we say ethnic people?
Dân
Người
tộc
dân tộc thiểu
thiểu
số.
số.
Dân tộc thiểu số. Yeah, ethnic people in mountainous regions, right? That's great. Yeah, great. What else? What else do people do?
Do you love pets?
Pets? Yeah.
Do you know how to pet rescue?
Yeah.
It's an organization where you can raise a pet which is abandoned.
Yeah. Yeah, so sweet, right? You can take care of pets who have been abandoned. Anything else?
In my school, students use their money to buy some food for the patient in the hospital.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great. Using the money to buy food for patients in the hospital. Yeah, that's awesome.
In my school, each class have a garden. Then we plant many tree and flower. It's make my school more beautiful.
Yes, wonderful. Planting trees, planting flowers in school. Oh, great. Do you want to come plant some flowers at my house?
I really want.
Oh, I love flowers. Do you know? Do you know?
And many of Vietnamese people, they donate blood for the hospital so they can cure some disease.
Yeah, right, giving your blood. Yeah, that can be a great way too. So do you think more adults, or youth, thanh niên, volunteer? Or do you think it's equal?
It's
Equal? Equal?
the youth. I think the youth.
Maybe the youth? Why?
Because on the news program, they always say the youth.
You only see the youth on the news. Okay. And so do all of you have a lot of opportunities at your school or in your community to volunteer? Oh, that's great. Awesome. Okay. I wanted to show you a few in Hanoi. Right? So the NGO that I volunteer with in Hanoi is called Blue Dragon. Blue Dragon Children's Foundation. Kamsai, yeah.
Thanh Long.
Sống xanh. Làm thi tổ chức evening class to teach.
Hang on. So this organization, Blue Dragon, they work with street children, right? Like Che Em Dung Pho, right? So street children who are living outside and maybe they ran away from home, right? Or they don't have any parents. So they work to get the street children off of the street and they give them food and shelter and education, right? And they also work, which is a big problem in the mountainous areas, with young women who have been trafficked. Has anyone heard this? Human trafficking?
Yeah.
Buôn bán người, right? Yeah, so they also actually go into China and bring the girls back to Vietnam. Yeah, it's very dangerous, but it's amazing. So I volunteer with them. I teach English to a young woman who is disabled, right? And I do some other things with them. But they're always looking for Vietnamese volunteers to teach or to help or donate money. Right, so it's a great way to get involved in Hanoi. There's also this amazing place called CS, the Center. Oh, I'm so bad at using these computers. I have my Mac. Okay. The Center for Sustainable Development Studies, like Trung-tâm, I don't know how to say it in Vietnamese. But this website is in English, but they do a lot of stuff with Vietnamese youth and volunteers, and they're an awesome, awesome organization. And there's also, I don't know if any of you have heard of it, the Trung tâm Tình nguyện Quốc gia.
Yeah.
Some of you? Yeah, right? Yeah. So that could be a good way too, right? And how many of you are members of the Youth Union? Đoàn Thanh niên.
We not yet attended.
Okay, so someone tell me about the Youth Union. Do you have to be in university? I don't know much about it. You do.
We can still learn at high school, but we can still be in a youth union. We can learn at high school, not only in a university.
So most of the volunteer opportunities are at your school?
Yeah. At my school, we can attend the youth union in ninth grade.
In ninth grade, okay. Are there any ways for primary students to volunteer?
No. We attend another group.
Okay, maybe a different group. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys do kind of an activity with this. You guys are going to plan a project, okay? I'm going to split you guys into groups, and I'm going to give you a worksheet, okay, to help you design a successful service project, and I'll have you be creative, and you'll see that. And the main question will be, how can you help, what can I do to make my community and country a better place, okay? And just to give you a little inspiration, some ideas, I wanted to show you a video of some Vietnamese youth who, they volunteered, but it's an exciting opportunity, you'll see. But they saw a big problem in Vietnam, and they wanted to do something to help. Okay? And I think most of you will know about this issue. And maybe you know this video.
I'm very proud to be Vietnamese, but to know that 90% of the world's runoff comes to my country, it's a slap in the face. You know, it's an absolute embarrassment for our people. This issue is a now issue, it's a today issue. It's not something we can wait 10 years down the line or 25 years down the line. We've got to do something right now. And that's why I truly believe that one way is through the children.
To do that, we obviously require funding, so we work with our partners at Eastbox Foundation and Investec.
People have a very limited understanding how severe this rhino poaching really is.
We needed to actually focus on demand reduction and the consumers of rhino horn.
Right through to interventions that looks at the market side and educating the consumers about the devastating consequences of their behavior.
So we started with a crazy idea of trying to raise the awareness.
And we came up with the idea for the World Rhino Competition.
And so we had literally thousands of entries. From those entries, 24 were chosen. They are here now.
We brought them out from Vietnam to the Wilderness Leadership School and then up into Mfolozi, do the traditional 5-day trail, and then work with them through a workshop and participative exercises to try and come up with ideas What are you going to do when you get back home?
Apparently, we have to go hiking around with these huge backpacks that weigh probably more than me.
I'm a bit nervous, but I'm more excited.
Even though there's no rhino left, and seeing one be very, I would say, magical.
I cross my fingers, hopefully we'll be able to see them.
I don't know what the feeling's gonna be like, but I'm hoping for something great.
So by taking them out into these wild areas, taking away the modern luxuries of cell phones and watches and everything else, they are forced to look at themselves and the way they interact with the world, but more importantly, what they can do to try and conserve these areas.
When they're able to reconnect, or for the kids not even reconnecting, just connecting, sometimes for the first time in their life, I think that's when the message will come through.
Sometimes you have to shut off the phone and turn on, your senses.
I believe that when they see rhino in the wild for the first time, they will be completely blown away.
I feel really lucky and privileged. I see an actual rhino in the wild.
It was really breathtaking to see them.
It was overwhelming. It was so beautiful. The rhino was so awesome.
To see them roaming wild and free, it was a really magical moment.
After the trail, we got the pleasure to go to this orphanage. The guy opened up this space where they usually feed the baby rhinos. And as we came close to them, they were making tiny cute squealing sounds. It's sad to me how they were so small, just like us, already smaller, and they already lost their parent.
I feel ashamed, to be honest. I just feel so emotional, and I just sometimes I hate being Vietnamese people, because some stupid people and just ruin it.
We have to touch their hearts. I think that's really the solution.
So the workshop, the idea there was to take that experience and then immerse them in the real challenges of the day, to hear from the guys that fight poachers on a daily basis, give them the knowledge that can harm them when they go back home.
If it's through the children, educating the children, that will then educate the parents. Education is the key to this process.
And what we hope to achieve from this workshop is that somehow we can come up with some creative and hopefully practical ideas to bring back to Vietnam, our own country.
An amazing experience. It was more than I had ever hoped it would be.
I really feel positive because we're not one, we're 24 young people, we're full of energy, really motivated to make a difference, and really make them feel that the way in which rhino horns are extracted from rhinos is really it's not even human.
Yes, it's 24 kids who are here, myself. It does seem like a drop of sand on a warm sandy beach. But I know that in this situation, for rhino, what we do now has a direct effect on results. Because when the kids speak, adults will listen.
Cool, huh? You guys know him, Penguin?
Yes.
Born in Australia, right? Yeah, huh? The last kid in the video, he doesn't look Vietnamese, does he? Yeah, maybe Vietnamese mom and French dad or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So some of you know about the rhino horn, right? The rhino, yeah, big problem, huh? Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is put you guys into groups, okay? And you're gonna have a little assignment to do. You'll have about 20 minutes to think of a project.